The Streak Tracer Unit. When you open the package, you'll find an easy-to-follow installation guide, heat shrink, and the tracer unit itself. Let's test to make sure this is working properly. Everything looks good to go. High quality heat shrink surrounds the unit. This looks pretty well protected. The wires are also pre-tinned. It also comes with a decent amount of wire to work with. Let's get started. Start by taking out the pin that secures the foregrip. Go ahead and disconnect the battery. Remove the two pins that secure the back plate on. And remove the battery. Go ahead and push out this pin here. And go ahead and remove the screw. It makes things easier. You'll see why later. Now go ahead and push the barrel and hop-up chamber out of the upper receiver. Remove the two motor plate screws and the motor plate. Go ahead and disconnect the motor wires and remove the motor. One thing that's really cool is this motor is actually a high torque motor. Has neodymium magnets, and if I had to guess, I want to say it's 22 TPA. Remove the fire selector by unscrewing the grub screw underneath the fire selector. Unscrew the two grip screws that secure the gearbox to the lower receiver. Now you can remove the gearbox. Make sure to be careful with the wires. That little piece that fell out is for the fire selector. Don't worry about that right now. You're going to want to splice into these wires here. There's a hole on the right side of the hop-up chamber housing. Route the LED wires through there. Make sure not to pinch the wires. They should move freely. Make sure to turn off the hop-up chamber before disassembling it. Remove the barrel, bucking, and nub from the hop-up chamber. Using an X-Acto knife, mark an X where you're going to drill the hole. It's recommended to use a 1/8 drill bit, but I use a 5/64 to start off with. Make sure to reference the directions, that way you get the hole in the perfect spot. If the hole isn't in the right spot, it'll result in dim BBs. At this point, it's probably a good idea to take your time and go slow. You don't want to drill through the other side of the hop-up chamber. After making a pilot hole with the 5/64 drill bit, I move up to the 1/8 drill bit. Clean and perfect. The pre-shaped LED fits perfectly in our newly drilled hole. You can use hot glue to secure your LED. I opted for crazy glue. I didn't glue the wires down as I saw no need to. just a little more crazy glue and reassemble the hop-up. Fish the LED wires through the hop-up chamber housing. There should be a little hole on the right side. This should give you a little bit of an idea what the wires should look like while inside the body. I connect the wires that go to the motor, that way I can kind of get an idea of where to make my cuts. And now the fun part, soldering. Red to red, black to black. Make sure to put heat shrink. As I said earlier, these wires come pre-tinned. I didn't know that at this time. Whenever I solder, I always use flux. It just helps the solder flow. I'm using some leftover heat shrink from a Hulk FET that I installed not too long ago. Remember that fire selector piece I told you about? Well, it only goes in one way, so it should be pretty easy to install. Now you can fish your wires through the motor grip hole. Now you can install your fire selector. Screw back in the grip screws that go into the gearbox to secure the gearbox to the lower receiver. Now you're ready to install your motor. Remember, red to red, black to black. Put on the motor plate and screw in the motor plate screws. Now would be a good time to test the tracer unit LED. Make sure you have the streak unit plugged in when you do this, because if you don't, you could burn out the LED. Looks like we're good to go. Before we put this back together, we need to install the beams on this bad boy. And now for the final part, wire management and putting the body together. Make sure all the wires go where they need to be. Don't pinch them and just go slow. Ah, the power of editing makes it look easy. It is kind of a tight fit, but trust me, it's doable. Remember that broken flash hider? Yeah, I just decided to JB weld it. It'll get painted, I just don't have any paint right now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Almost forgot to modify the foregrip. And we're done. And now you've just installed the streak tracer unit in your MP5K. The streak tracer unit is available on eBay for $25 free shipping. I'll leave a link in the description. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.